Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell on the title of my blog, I have a few topics to touch down on this time. I know I have been so much away from the camera, but I've been having like really hard weeks related with my pregnancy. So I will let you know right now what's going on and how's everything going, okay? So, uh, on October 14th, sorry, I was having a little bit of issues. I was having like really weird symptoms. I was feeling fainted, lightheaded. I was feeling like I don't know how to explain this to you, but I was feeling weird. So, and I was taking my blood pressure. My blood pressure is high. I'm a high risk pregnancy. Yeah, because I have hypertension. Um, since before I got pregnant, I already had high blood pressure, but with the pregnancy, it got worse. With my son, I didn't have that much of a problem, like not being able to control my blood pressure, but with this pregnancy, I've been having a lot of issues. They switched me my medication 3 times already. First I was in one that is called labetalol. I don't know if some of you guys are familiar with it. I was prescribed 100 milligrams twice a day. That was the first one. Then they keep increasing the dose, but when I was taking my medication, I was feeling lightheaded, and that was one of the side effects, because since my body is used to having a high blood pressure, when it goes down, my body, it's like it feels it, and it feels like I'm not faint or lightheaded or dizzy. Anyways, so that's one of the reasons they increased my medication, because my blood pressure wouldn't go down. Like I will always have like 140s, 150s, and the most I will have it is 160s over 90s. And all of the top and the bottom numbers were always high. So I told my OBG, and she told me that it was okay, that they were increasing the medication, but as I was taking it, it was not helping me at all. So they increased the dose to 200 milligrams a day. I mean twice a day, sorry. And it wasn't keeping it low either. So every time I would take my blood pressure, it will be like 140s and the most 150s with that dose. Then I told my doctor, I was like, you know what, like the medication is making me feel like this, lightheaded, like dizzy, like I feel so weak. So when I told her that, she switched me to another medication, which is called methyl-dopa, something like that, but it's for high blood pressure. So the dose on that one was high. If I'm not wrong, it's 250 milligrams, but it's not as strong as the labetalol, twice a day. So I was taking that, but it wasn't helping me either. So I was like trying to also kind of like watch my diet. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like sometimes like I feel so tired that I don't want to cook, and that kind of affects it too, because if I eat fast food or anything that's high on sodium, sorry, or sodas, that also increase my blood pressure. But I was trying to not do that, but since I would feel so tired, like not wanting to do anything, I would just grab something from the store or something that was already made from the market and bring it home. So they switched me to that medication, and it wasn't helping me at all. And every time that I would take my blood pressure, it was the same, like 140s, 150s, and or 160s over 90s. So what they did, I had to go to labor and delivery because on that day, like on the 14th of October, and I was like not feeling good. Like I was going to pick up my son from school, and I was feeling like as soon as I got in the car after picking him up to drive back home, like I started feeling like so weak. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to get home as soon as possible. What if something happens? I mean, I should have not do that because I didn't know what was gonna happen. But I mean, like I was like, I need to get home. And my thoughts were I need to, maybe my blood sugars went down. And it has happened before when my blood sugar levels have been like up, down, and then I'll drink something sweet or eat something sweet and it will feel better. So what I did was I went to a restaurant, fast food restaurant, and got me a Coke, and I drank it and nothing got better. Like it got better like for 1 or 2 minutes, and after that, like it went back to like what I was. So I went home. I was using my mom's car, so I went to jump on my mom's car, and I was like, you know what, Mom, like I need to take me to the hospital. So when I went to the hospital, since I wasn't home, I wasn't able to take on my blood pressure. But with blood pressure, you never have symptoms. But I've noticed that if I have high blood pressure, my body feels it and it makes me feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit weak or lightheaded, kind of like having if I would have taken my medication. So I went to the labor and delivery that day, and they admitted me. They were checking my blood pressures, everything, my blood pressure levels, and it was super high. Like I think like when I got to the hospital, I think it was like 150s, if I'm not wrong. I wasn't able to see how high it was, but I'm pretty sure it was like 150s or 160s. I'm not sure. So what they did was like they admitted me like this. They didn't let me waiting. They didn't left me waiting anywhere, because sometimes they do leave you waiting for a long time until the doctors get there or the nurses, and they start taking your vitals and all that. So since I went with the symptoms that I went with, the weakness, lightheaded, shakiness, I was feeling weird. They admitted me so fast, and they were like, your blood pressure is super high. We need to control it, because if we are not able to control it, you can go. We will have to do an emergency C-section, because we will have to deliver the baby as soon as possible, because that will put you in risk in your baby. But the chances of the baby surviving, since you were like 22 or 20, I was 22 or 23 weeks, so the chances of the baby surviving is not like high. I can say like they told me like 10% out of 100, and I was super scared. Like, guys, believe me, like I was like so scared. I was like, I need to get my blood pressure down. So they started like talking to other doctors. They were like trying to make this process super fast. They were telling me that they were gonna leave me in the hospital because they wanted to have me in observation for them to bring my blood pressure down, sorry. And so the thing is that they admitted me like in less than 2 hours or less than 3 hours, because they were checking my blood pressure and everything. So what they did is that they took me off of the methyl dopa that I was taking, and they gave me back the labetalol. But instead of taking 200 milligrams, they gave me 300 milligrams. No, I'm lying, sorry. They were giving me like 500 milligrams, because I remember it was 5 pills, and each pill it's 100. So they gave me 500 milligrams once, And I knew that as soon as I was taking that medication, I was gonna feel super weak. I was gonna feel like lightheaded, like before, like the symptoms that that medication gives. Then the cardiologist came to talk to me, stating that I had to stay because it wasn't good for me to have that amount of high blood pressure, like in less than 1 hour. Like they were not going down. So what they did is that they told me that they were gonna do x-rays. They told me that they were gonna do ultrasound of my heart, and they were gonna check my veins to see if I wasn't having any clotting in them. So just to discard any of those things. And they wanted to do the x-rays and the ultrasound of my heart. It was because of the fact that they were afraid of me having a heart attack. So the thing is that they admitted me, they took me to a room. After they gave me the dose of the medication, my blood pressure went super down, like normal, not like down, but it was normal. I think like the lowest I had it there when I was admitted, it was 115, I think, over 70, which is a little bit low, but not as low as normal. So that was on the 14th. Then on the 15th, they were telling me, they were like checking me back and forth. They were checking my urine. Sorry for the TMI, but they wanted to check my urine and how much I urinate, because they also think that I had a UTI. So they checked my urine, they checked the amount of urine I was releasing and how often, because when you're pregnant, of course, like you have to go to the bathroom multiple times. But I also wasn't drinking too much water. They did an IV, but they never put any fluids on the IV. They were just taking blood out of the IV, and then they were poking me every single time. And after that, like they discharged me on the 15th, like around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And the results of everything came back normal, thank God. And they discarded everything about preterm labor, about my having heart attacks or heart failure. And I think that was for those days.